Yeah, welcome back to the Channel One newsroom. Now, gunfire continues to erupt in Bawku as combatants clash in the area. On Friday, 3 people were killed and numerous properties were destroyed in a gun battle. The fighting, which had subsided by Saturday morning, flared up again in the evening with intense gunfire spreading through the region. Although a curfew from dawn to dusk is in place, it has not stopped the combatants from engaging in violence. Since the resurgence of the conflict in October, approximately 32 people have been killed. Let's now go live to the community and speak to our correspondent in the Upper East region, Ibrahim Abode. Thank you very much, Ibrahim, for joining us here on the Channel One newsroom. I know there's a curfew in Bawku, and yet the fighting and killings have not stopped. Has the curfew been effective?
Yes, the curfew is actually effective, but then usually in the night, the combatants are able to operate freely. So when you want to look at the recent development or the recent trend, they actually engage each other in the night more than the daytime, because the military will not be able to, take cover the whole community. So probably they sneak to other areas, do their operations and then run back. So that is how, these guys engage one another.
All right, now we understand that, almost everyone is fleeing Bawku now. Please paint a picture of the town for us, especially the local economy.
Well, Bawku is actually one of the, it was one of the growing economic areas in Ghana. Previously or historically, Bawku was compared with Echimine. And then at the genesis of the development of this region, the Upper East region, Bawku was quite ahead of Bolgatanga, which is the regional capital. But the situation of the regional capital was taken to Bolgatanga because Bawku is at the border. It shares boundary with Burkina Faso and Togo. So historically, we are told that the regional capital was supposed to be situated in Bawku, but because of their location or because of its location, the capital was taken to Bawku. So economically, Bawku is one of the best towns in Ghana. Business activities actually grow. So many other activities go on. But unfortunately, what actually disturbs the town is the conflict. And then usually, Bawku, most of the people who reside there are actually strangers. You have some Burkinabés coming in, some Togolese coming in, some Southerners. All ethnic groups are in Bawku, and these people have been transacting their businesses, peacefully until this, conflict came to destabilize the whole place.
Well, Ibrahim, for the benefits of those who are not conversant with the situation, can you guys give us a brief background of this whole conflict and why it has lingered on for so long?
Well, the conflict, as it is being told, historically, before even independence, there was that kind of disagreement between the people. So after independence, a committee was set to actually look into it. They came to the finality of that particular, a judgment was pronounced. Subsequently, some military rulers that came in objected that judgment, and it has been that kind of take it here, leave it there, and that kind of thing. But for some time, for about 39 to 40 years, there's been a chief who rules without any objection until the 2021 that attempts were made to, inskin a parallel chief. So that has been the situation. These people are actually interrelated. When you want to look at the Mampusi, Kusasi, they are more related than any other ethnic group in Bawku. But because of the interest on the traditional rule, they actually sometimes, put away this kind of relationship that they have one another, and they decide to go wayward to engage in violence. And they've been able to convince some of the minority groups living in Bawku to actually join them. So you have a minority group. You decide, the person decides whether he joins Mampusi or Kusasi to engage the opponent. So they've been able to actually pollute the whole environment, and it's actually critical. So Bawku in itself is one of the biggest towns, and when the conflict intensifies, you have all other angles coming out to shoot into the town. So it looks very terrifying if you are within the town and the shooting is ongoing. It's usually terrifying. So that is how it looks like.
We know government says that it is working to bring a resolution to the matter, but at the local level, are you aware of any efforts from either side to bring this conflict to an end?
From the local level, I don't think there is a plan, because for now, no traditional council, let's say the Kusati Traditional Council or the other one, having the authority to actually manage the situation, because no traditional authority has the independent authority to manage the conflict for now until government is able to enforce, some rulings and some laws in the area. There is no any other traditional authority that can actually put up something. So as we speak, the whole situation is getting bad because day in, day out, the shooting goes on and then killing goes on, burning here and there. So previously, the conflict has never gotten to this extent. Okay. But looking at the few days back, it indicates that the whole situation is getting more volatile than we think. So the traditional authorities themselves do not have the control to actually manage the situation for now.
All right, and finally, before I let you go, I mean, elections are just around the corner. I mean, if you assess the situation, do you think that even the people have the confidence to go out and exercise their franchise? But how do you think this election is going to pan out?
Well, 3 days ago, I was with the Electoral Commission, Bawku, where they were training their officials. I spoke to the Electoral Commissioner, I spoke to the returning officer, I also spoke to some of the officers that were trained, some of the ballot issuers and the rest. They indicated that, the Electoral Commission indicated that they've been able to train the people in badges, and they are training them based on their segregation or their demarcation. So they will go to the Mamprushu-dominated areas and train their officers and make sure that the officers remain there for their own safety. They don't cross to the other side. So they also go to the other side and do same. So the Electoral Commission, I followed them keenly, and I realized that they are trying their best to actually conduct the elections very peacefully. But what might be critical is that on the elections, if the combatants engage each other, that bullets are flying left, right, center, the officers might not be able to really engage. But in some areas, they can still be shooting guns and people vote freely. That is how Bawku looks like.
Are there any active political campaigns currently?
Yes, they are engaging each other. The politicians are engaging the electorates, and then fortunately, both the MPP and then the NDC belong to one divide of the conflict. So the freedom to move around, the MPP parliamentary candidate, who is Paul Agobre, has the freedom to move around his community and other communities to campaign. Honorable Muhammad of the NDC also have the liberty to move around. The challenge is the presidential, where some people are objecting the MPP presidential candidate.
All right, thank you very much. That was Ibrahim Abode, Upper East Regional Correspondent, joining us here with some updates on the situation in Bawku.